Hi, this is Harold from Ask the Mower Guy and Carlsbad Small Engine, and this video is about what does it mean when your lawnmower guy tells you that you have lost compression, and explains what on a small engine you have a lot of different components that make up the small engine. So what I have right here is a short block from an engine. Basically almost all the parts this is used would be off the engine. This is the coil. The head's been removed off of the equipment, and the piston is removed as well. But basically what happens is, in this area here, scarring and scratching can occur inside the cylinder. So what you have to imagine is, inside this area right here, a piston is going up and down inside that cylinder wall several thousand times a minute. And what can happen is you can get damage and scratches that allow air to pass by the rings. These have to be perfectly round in order for the compression to get held. On top of this would be a head gasket, which seals then the head. These are a couple different heads to the top of the cylinder, and holds that pressure in there so that when the piston comes all the way to the top, the spark plug can spark, cause the explosion, and push the piston back down. So the piston's going up and down inside of that cylinder each time the engine fires. When it comes back up the second time, these are what they call the valves. So on a piece of equipment, this is an overhead valve. The valves open and close depending upon where the engine is in the compression stroke, or if it's an intake stroke. These valves are also sometimes the guilty parties on why you're losing compression. So there's several things I want to show you. First of all, on your cylinder, the cylinder can get out of round. And if it gets out of round, when the piston is inside the cylinder, it can develop gaps around the rings and the side of the cylinder wall. So if you notice here, the cylinder slides down in there. These rings have to be squeezed in perfectly round so that when this piston is going up and down, it will seal the air in there. The second thing you've got to realize is that if you lose lubrication, you've got metal on metal grinding right here. That can grind a little groove, and then air can go past the rings through that little groove, and you lose compression. That's the first thing. The second thing is the valves. If the valves, and this particular one doesn't have any valve stems or valves in it, if these seats, they call it, around here where the valve actually sets, become damaged, air can sneak past that too. So those seats have to be closed and have to be very tight. It should be a nice tight seal around each one of the valves. Intake, exhaust, or exhaust intake, depending on what engine you have. So the two places you can lose compression is the rings get worn, allowing air to pass between the rings and the cylinder. You can also have a compression leak because your head gasket has a hole in it, allowing air to sneak out, or your rings, your valves, are not seated well. I hope that helps, gives you an idea of what it means to have bad compression. Also, the only cure for this is either make that round, put oversized rings in, replace the rings, or have to put new valves or reseat the valves in your head. All of which are, as you can see, a pretty major event in small engine land. Hope that helps.